Hey everyone. You know, with the underperformance, I guess you could say, or the negative reaction that Venom got, I think we got to remember one thing. It all comes down. Sorry about that. But like I said, it all comes down to one thing legitimately, and that is the fact that just because the movie may get a negative reaction overall, it doesn't mean that there's no chance of a sequel or the so-called Venom-Verse, the Venom-Verse as they call it, from continuing. Because as long as it has a strong opening weekend, which no doubt Sony is hoping for, and in part Marvel is hoping for, then pretty much it's going to probably get a sequel. But exactly where do they go with that sequel if it happens? Well, I think when you take a look at the ending for Venom, the post credits and the mid credit scenes, you know, the fact that they teased Colin Cassidy, they teased Colin Cassidy, I think that's his name, who's Venom, or not Venom, but Carnage in the comics, and they revealed a whole planet of symbionts ready to invade Earth. The question is, will that still happen? And like I said, Sony and Marvel are banking on the opening weekend here in the States and any other opening weekend across the world and internationally for basically Venom to bring in the big bucks, despite the negative reaction. Because you want to know how sequels get made? Not just because of fan reaction, positive fan reviews and critical reviews and all that. It's the money. But the question is, how will it come about? Well, if you check out social media and video social media sites, there is a clip online of Michelle Williams' character and Reaver as She-Venom. And according to reports, basically, after she kind of, in a makeout scene, gives back the symbiont suit to Brock, Tom Hardy's character, after she does that, basically it states in one report that she's regrettable about biting off one security guard's head as She-Venom, but that she's actually, how do I say this, perversed, or, well, basically attracted, aroused, if you will, at the possibilities, the powers that this symbiont suit, the Venom suit, gave her. So the question is, if they do a sequel, and most likely, thanks to the huge box office that Venom is getting right now, there's probably going to be a sequel. I mean, look, take a look at Dawn of Justice. They could have not done Justice League that followed it, but they did. So Venom's probably going to get a sequel. So the question is, what do we get here? And I think that, well, first of all, that makeout scene that, is leaked online, where she, transfers the Venom suit back to Brock. Like I said, where she transfers the, like I said, with that scene leaking around, and the makeout scene that you had there, and the fact that when, according to reports, after she transferred the symbiote back over to Brock's character, the fact that she, like I said, regretted doing what she did by biting off another security guard's head, or somebody's head, to save Brock, but then kind of feeling attracted, aroused, turned on by the by the prospects and the possibilities that this symbiont suit or symbiote suit gave her. And the fact that they teased other symbionts showing up soon, possibly in a sequel, it makes you wonder what roles She-Venom will play. Well, like I was kind of saying in my live stream yesterday morning, I think honestly there was more to this whole thing with She-Venom and Weaver and Brock in the movie than was let on. I think honestly there was supposed to be more. According to one of Joe Vargas, Angry Joe's friends, there was about 40 minutes cut out, so you gotta wonder if maybe 40 or part of that 40 minutes was maybe both Michelle's character and Tom Hardy's character having a passionate love scene involving the Venom symbiote. Sorry about that, but like I said, you gotta wonder if maybe there was more to that scene, or more to that, like I was saying, maybe part of that 40 minutes that Joe Vargas, aka Angry Joe, his friend mentioned that was cut out. You gotta wonder if maybe part of that 40 minutes was Tom Hardy's character and Michelle Williams' character. Like I said, if part of that 40 minutes was Anne Reeving and Brock, Michelle Williams and Tom Hardy's character having a passionate love scene with the Venom suit involved, and maybe the Venom suit attaches itself to her and she becomes like a She-Venom, or it's kind of like a dominatrix like cat suit to her, and they just go all out to her at the end, both enveloped by the symbiont and it just expands or maybe explodes, and maybe part that during the scene you see Michelle's face just pop out of the back of what would assumedly be Tom Hardy, Brock's body, even though it's enveloped, bonded with the symbiont, like it stretches out, like we've seen in some stories and adaptations where characters unwillingly or willingly, mostly unwillingly, get bonded with the Venom symbiont. Who knows? But even if that's not true, you gotta assume that we're gonna get something like that possibly in the sequel down the line. We're gonna get that moment possibly, or that love scene or whatever in the sequel or the follow-up to Venom. And most definitely, that if we're gonna get another Venom film, especially based off the box office records that it's breaking, despite how people really feel about the film, Carnage is going to be involved, and they're going to want to really go all out with this movie, even if the sequel is the only other time we get Venom get a Venom movie. They're going to want to go all out. They're going to want to really focus on the symbionts and what they can do, like shapeshift, mold, stuff like that. So, but the question is, will we get a Venom sequel? And I think we will. Will the Venom-Verse, the Venom universe, if you will, the Venom movie-verse, if you will, or the Venom cinematic universe still happen even with the sequel as probably the second movie in this? I would say yeah. I mean, they're already planning a Morbius movie, which I think is going to be part of it. And they're going to have to do some Venom-like or symbiont-like films focusing on the other symbionts that are either good symbionts, anti-hero symbionts, bad, whatever. They're going to have to go all out. Heck, there's even in the comics where you have the symbionts, what is it, like 4 of them or something like that, merged together to create a symbiont called Hybrid. So you got that possibility in the works as well. They got that possibility right there as well. So like I said, you got all those, possibilities that could happen in a follow-up and possible future VCU, Venom Cinematic Universe, if you will. But the question is, will it happen? I think, honestly, yes. And I know I seem like I'm all over the place. I'm kind of pausing here and there because I never know when my door might open or all that. But anyway, getting back on point, honestly, will it happen? Will the movie, will we get a sequel like I was trying to say? Yeah, I think we will. Will we get spin-offs? Absolutely. Because they seem determined to do this Venom-Verse. And like I said, whatever they had planned for this movie, I got a feeling might be included, if not more so, in the sequel. And then, like I said, you got all these other possibilities out there, not just with Morbius, but you got possibilities like with Silver Sable, Black Cat. Here's the thing, the reason they didn't go through with the Silver and Black movie, the Silver Sable Black Cat movie, is because I think a lot of people knew that, I think the studio people knew that a lot of fans were going to probably expect something to come out of it, if you kind of catch my drift, between Black Cat and Sable. So I don't think they wanted to go that route. I think what's going to happen is they're going to go a Silver Sable route as a solo film, or maybe have a co-star in an upcoming Venom film. Maybe in the sequel, maybe have a co-star in Morbius. In fact, Black Cat's going to probably be in the Morbius film, because there's, comic book-wise, there's a connection between Black Cat and Morbius, so expect that. But yeah, I definitely think we're going to get more movies out of this, because even despite how people feel about the film, professional critical-wise and fan-wise and all that, as long as it's making a lot of moolah at the box office, especially in its opening weekend here in the States, and then sooner or later internationally, and basically the hardcore Venom fan base that you have that's going to go watch it anyway, then yeah, you're going to get a Venom 2. Like I said, they wouldn't have teased Carnage showing up with that Cassidy character, or the planet of the symbionts getting ready to invade. And so yeah, I definitely think we're going to get one. I definitely think that there's other possibilities they can go with if they find success inevitably and eventually, where again you can bring in the hybrid symbiont character, which is a merger of four well-renowned symbionts, or 3, or depending on how many they want to do. You got all these possibilities opening up in front of you, so yeah. So again, I know this video is going long, but will we get a Venom 2? Absolutely. Will we get future Venom-Verse movies? If this movie brings in the money box office wise, despite how people feel about it, then yeah, we'll get a sequel. We will get a sequel, and we'll probably get spin-off films out of that. And basically the door is open for the possibilities are endless. But I think what it's going to really depend on is how well the Morbius and the second Venom film do. So yeah, so again, I know I sound like I'm repeating myself and I'm rambling, I'm all over the place, so I do apologize. But do I really think we'll get all that I mentioned? Yeah. And I think what really is going to be counted on for this VCU, as I call it, to be expanded even further, is not just how much more money this brings in box office wise, this Venom film right now, but how much the sequel and more in the Morbius film will bring in. Because if those movies bring in enough moolah, then this VCU is going to continue. And like I said, the possibilities are endless of what areas they could potentially explore. But yeah, overall, get to the end of this. I truly believe we will get a Venom sequel. And I definitely think that whatever happens afterwards is dependent financially. Because this is what studios care about, really, financially and box office wise, how the rest of the openings internationally and this weekend right now for Venom do, and internationally very soon do, as well as potentially what the sequel and the upcoming Morbius film will do financially. So that's all I'm going to really say on it. Let me know what you all think down below, and I'll talk to y'all later.